Joining me this morning to talk about this year's Connie Mack World Series, the general chairman of the Connie Mack World Series Committee, Tyson Snyder, is here in the studio with me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you back with me here on KSJE, and as we were talking, for a much happier occasion than our conversation about a year ago.
Yes, last time I was in here was a very sad moment.
Right.
It was a tearjerker. We were sadly announcing the cancellation of the 2020 tournament. Very excited to be back with great news this year that the 2021 tournament is a go.
What a difference a year makes, right?
Yes, and it seems like it's been 10 years since last year, but we're very excited. It has been a lot of things happening in this past 12 months.
A lot of hard work by a lot of folks, yourself included, I think, to make this happen with 2021, even as we hopefully move out of COVID-19.
Absolutely. So we really never stopped. Really from 2019, we went into the renovation, COVID. Now we're working hard to come out of that, making adjustments as needed. So what you're going to see in 2021 come July is really an accumulation of really the last 2 years of work.
Right. So I think, and of course, this town goes crazy over baseball, and Connie Mack baseball in particular. So I know the town is thrilled. At least everyone I have talked to is thrilled that the World Series is back this summer.
Yes, and that's what I've seen as well. Everyone I've talked to is ready to get back in the saddle. We miss baseball. We miss people. We miss seeing our community members and our family members. And there's not a better place, in my opinion, to come together than under the lights at Ricketts Park in July.
Indeed. So let me ask you a little bit about some of the changes that you talked about that have been happening for the last couple of years, really, that these things have been put into place. And, of course, big business sponsorships. You can't do it without. We've seen the big McDonald's arches on the logo this year, right? That's a new thing.
Very excited. The Bronson family stepped up, and they're going to be our title sponsor for the next 3 years.
Excellent.
Very excited about that. They have been great partners in the past with the Connie Mack World Series, so we're very, very appreciative that they're our title sponsor. Got our nice new logo. You can see on all of our social media pages, and you'll see on the Jumbotron this summer. And we're very grateful to Chick-fil-A. They were fantastic partners for the last couple of years, and but now it's McDonald's has stepped up, and we're great to have them.
There you go. So that's what we'll be seeing. Now here's a picture of the stands at Ricketts Park. This is from, I think, last fall, maybe October.
Yes.
And they've been working on some seating renovations, right?
Yes. So right when we came out of 2019, when we back it up, the initial renovation was done in 2000. And then I believe in 2013, they did the ticket booth renovation out front. And really the final piece was the bleachers, previously known as Section 25 down the left field line. And then what you're looking at now is the general admission section down the right field line. We were able to remove those bleachers, and now we brought those bleachers closer into the existing grandstand blue seats that you see close to the dugout.
Okay.
So it'll be closer to the action. Every seat has a backrest. There's more space. We have more handicap seating. We have 76 new box seats on both sides. And we were super excited to not only get this going, but unveil it at 2020. So we've had to delay the excitement for a year. There was also some COVID issues we were working through with some production issues, labor issues, just COVID mandates in general slowed the project down, but it is 100% complete.
And hopefully they're wider, because all of us are wider now since COVID. With
they
those
are
extra
wider.
15 pounds.
The COVID-20 is
That's
real.
Whatever it is, that's right.
So it really looks beautiful.
Nice.
In addition to this, we're redoing the. My goodness, I just went blank. The bullpens, geez.
There it is.
Down the left field line.
Okay.
So we renovated those. If you go by Ricketts, brand new turf on the infield. The city's done a fantastic job. They redid the irrigation system.
There's that picture, right? That's the new turf.
They make it happen. Right. And then we have a nice net that will protect everyone. It goes all the way down the line, so it's a safer
no more foul balls. You got to be paying attention.
That's right. So we have a nice new net that will protect everyone while they're eating their Frito pies and watching the games.
Perfect. There you go. There's a shot of the workers installing the sod, and again, that was precipitated by a change out of the irrigation system. So if you're going to have to tear up the irrigation, you might as well replace the sod, I suppose.
And we've had a lot of questions about why the field hasn't been open. That's because they decided during this slowdown of COVID, we're going to, while we're doing the bleacher renovation, redo the irrigation system. Then COVID happened, delayed that project as well. So it's all coming together nicely, and we'll be ready come July.
Very exciting. And here's the schedule come July. And there it is. You're going to have a ribbon cutting early July.
We are, and that's to unveil the new stadium. So people that were in Section 25 can come and see their new seats. We'll have some food. The Chamber of Commerce will be there, and it's really just a celebration of just coming back to the park and enjoying, Ricketts Park and all of its beauty and the hard work that's been put into it.
True. That's Tuesday, July 6th at 10 a.m. That's when that is scheduled for our radio audience who can't see what we're looking at.
That's right.
And then things start happening around the middle to end of July, I guess. Teams arrive on the 21st.
Yes, so teams will arrive as they did in 2019 at the Civic Center. We'll have a hamburger fry, barbecue. The entertainment committee will put that on with some great community partners.
Police escort?
Yes, police escort. We've met with the chief. He's there. Everyone's on board and excited about it. The teams are very excited about it. We've had great feedback. They're just wanting to come back to Farmington.
I have to say that sets the stage, I think, for the World Series events. I mean, I can't imagine being a high school baseball player getting a police escort into the town where I'll be playing my baseball.
That's right, and we hear that from these 16, 17-year-old baseball players. As soon as they poke into Farmington, it's like game on. They can feel the excitement. They get to the Civic Center, big barbecue. They meet their host families,
right,
and then they are, they're treated at a. We set the bar high, so the expectation for them is, the coaches and the umpires have courtesy cars, parade. Farmington does it right, so it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the week.
Exactly. And speaking of the parade, that's the next day, that Thursday, right, July the 22nd, 10 o'clock, downtown.
Yes, we are doing it downtown. There was a little bit of conversation about possibly having to move the parade, maybe to Arrington, maybe to College Boulevard. What we're going to do this year, and this is because of the roundabouts.
Right.
So downtown looks beautiful. However, those roundabouts did change how parades will be functioning. All vehicles have to be 40 feet or less to get around the roundabouts. So we talked to the coaches, and the teams will actually be walking. They'll be walking behind their banners, and we thought it would be fun and different and more really engaging for the youngsters that love the parade. If the players are on foot, a lot of them will get off the float and walk along the float anyways to engage with the crowd. And the teams and the players and the coaches were actually really excited about this. So I think it's going to be different, but I don't think it's going to change the excitement. It's going to bring a lot of people down to our downtown to see out, the beautiful renovation that's taking place there.
It's beautiful. That's true. But I can see how maybe some of those longer flatbeds that the boys would be sitting on, and their coaches may not quite. And I'm sure they could get around the roundabouts, but if they had to tilt a little bit, you don't want a bunch of ball players on top, holding on for dear life.
That's right.
So I can see that happening.
Yes,
so,
and
smart decision.
And the coaches were actually excited about it. They said, let's mix it up. Let's think outside the box, and let's make it happen for Farmington.
Very good. And then we have some of the other coach activities and the home run derby, of course, and then the opening ceremonies later that same night.
Yes. So following the parade, the players will go. They'll get their pictures taken at noon, and then the coaches' fungo home run derby opening ceremonies is a free open seating event. Takes place at 5:30, and it's really the kickoff to pool play that will take place on Friday and Saturday. And then the championship bracket to follow.
And then it starts all
and
then it gets real.
Yes, and then it's go time. And
there you go. And then there's something happening on Sunday, the 25th, that I wanted to ask you about, too, at 9 a.m. Is that something new, or I just hadn't paid attention before?
We did this in 2019. It was at 10 a.m. It's in conjunction with Pinion Hills and some other churches in the community, and it's a church service. It's just to give our thanks, pay homage, and have a little bit of worship time as we kick off and
so open to anyone?
Go into the rest of the week. This is also a free event. It is an open seating event. In 2019, it was at 10 a.m. We thought we'd beat the heat a little bit by scooting it back to 9 a.m. It's an hour long.
Okay.
The players really enjoyed it. The players' families that travel with the teams. It was a hit in 2019. So I think it's going to be bigger and better. And Pinion Hills Community Church has helped kick that off in 2019, and they'll do it again this year.
Okay, sounds good. 9 o'clock on the 25th. That's Sunday, of course, at Ricketts Park, and just kind of this open, non-denominational, I would say, probably church service.
That's correct.
For folks to come.
For everyone as well. Everyone is welcome.
Definitely. And then, of course, the championship bracket play begins later that day on Sunday then.
That's correct. So we'll have 2 games that night at Ricketts, and then the host team will play their first game Monday night, the late game. So we'll have 2 games Sunday night. The host will play Monday night, and then the championship game will take place that next Saturday at 4 p.m.
Got you. And so we're all excited because, of course, also, no offense, when Connie Mack happens, we get some rain.
Yes.
So we're thrilled about maybe the idea that maybe we'll get a couple rainstorms coming through. But
I hope it's a well-balanced rain.
There you go. Yes,
we won't get any rain, and then we'll have to cancel events and push them back. It's like, can we have a little bit more consistency and a well-balanced distribution of rain?
Maybe.
Yes. But that's okay. We all know we need it, so we'll be grateful for baseball and rain this year.
There you go. Perfect. And of course, we don't know yet the teams that are coming because that has yet to be decided. But every region is still going to be competing and taking part in the World Series, as far as we know.
That is correct. We have the three teams that are invited, the automatic bids, which is the Southern California Renegades, the Midland Redskins, as well as DBAT from Texas. The qualifying events and regional qualifiers will kick off, I believe, June 8th. And as teams as they punch their ticket to the tournament, we'll be putting it on our social media page and so that'll be Instagram, Facebook. We'll be putting it on our website. And we'll be sending that out in the community so everybody knows who's coming as they qualify. Got you.
And so by not having a World Series last year, did that mess up any of the rankings or standings or ways to figure all this out for this year's tournament?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Everyone stopped last year when we canceled that tournament.
The pause for everyone.
Little League World Series canceled. MLB changed drastically. There was other youth amateur organizations that canceled right after us. The Junior College World Series that's getting ready to take place right now in Grand Junction also canceled. So it wasn't that we were the only ones.
Oh, no.
Now, as baseball began to open up, there was, it varied by state. But what I did notice and what I really am grateful and appreciative of when I've talked to these different coaches and players and even the host families here, everyone seems even more excited this year. So it wasn't ideal, but I think the silver lining is when we get to Ricketts and when we have this tournament, we'll embrace it we'll hold on to it even tighter.
Very true.
We'll be happier to see our community members at the park. And, sometimes we take things for granted. And I think we're all just going to be, more appreciative this year and more excited. And that's been the case for these teams that have been traveling around the country.
Very true. I was just going to say we take things for granted. And so Connie Mack being one of those things, it's just like American, like apple pie and everything else. And, last year we didn't have it. And everyone's like, wait a minute. And so I think we will enjoy it even more. It'll be even richer this year, a richer experience for sure. Right. You mentioned host families, and I want to put a plug in for that because I know that need is still here.
It is still here.
Players coming back, that is one of the things that makes this World Series and tournament so unique to Farmington, I think, and that the national organization notices is the way that the town comes together to host these players in their homes.
That's correct.
Every year as a host family.
That's correct. We are looking for host families. You can email the Connie Mack World Series at conniemackworldseries@gmail.com. Also, you can email us at conniemackfamilies@live.com. And really got a sense of how much that program means to teams, their coaches, players, families. One of the first questions they asked, okay, is the tournament happening? Yes. Is the host family organization and program still happening? Because it is just, that really is, and we say it time and time again every year, that's really the element of this tournament that sets it above and beyond and elevates it from the rest. There's not a better way for a community to get involved than to welcome the players into their homes and families.
Right. Well, and the families that I've spoken with, I mean, they make these relationships with these baseball players that last forever.
Absolutely.
In many cases. And they follow their careers, and some of them go on to be college stars, and some of them go on to be Major League Baseball stars. I mean, there's great stories about some of these players that have gone on to great things.
They're the best stories. I've heard a lot of them this week. I've kind of been, as I've been talking to different people in different organizations. We have a player that stayed with us 2 years ago that's getting ready to play in the Junior College World Series in Grand Junction. Mother's Day rolls around, and I have to beat our former players to the punch. So it's like I need to make sure that I wish my wife a happy Mother's Day prior to the players, or texting her and calling her, and it's been neat to see that relationship form between our former players, my children, and my family.
They've kept in touch, obviously, and kept that relationship going. And you mentioned for your family, and I imagine for your kids, it's got to be great to get a text or a phone call from one of these big-time players,
It
perhaps,
is.
right?
And
what
these,
they're doing.
These players, they come here and they're held to high standards by their organizations and their teams, and they really are great role models. At least in my experience and the experience of folks that I've talked to, the little kids really look up to them, just like I did when I was roaming around Ricketts Park, getting autographs signed on my program or asking them for a hat after they were eliminated. And what I feel that it does is it really, when I look at my son who's 6, you know, the moments that he's having now are the ones that I had that make me want to volunteer now. So
Sure.
I think it's a way of just bringing in the next generation of volunteers and folks that are going to work hard to make this tournament what it is in the future.
Most definitely. And so for someone who's maybe never been a host family before, can you run through some of the requirements? Obviously, they need to be available for their player and try to get them back and forth from the park, right?
Yes,
for their games and things like that.
Yes, and you can feel free to reach out, and we'll answer any questions. There's a great group of individuals that head that committee. Once the players arrive on the 21st, you will be provided an orientation as well as the players. You will be introduced. Here are the rules. Here are the parameters and guidelines. You will wash their uniforms. You'll take them to practice, to hitting practice. But what's really neat to see is each team kind of has its own community of host families, and they get together. They have pool parties and barbecues, and they really find neat and creative ways to show the kids this area, but also to just have fun and have a good time. And so each kind of team kind of has its own community of families.
Nice.
that shows them a great time. But it really is. It's one of the trademarks of this tournament, and
Makes a big impact.
absolutely, we
Makes a
can't do
big
this
impact.
tournament without those volunteers. So if you have any questions, reach out. Be
Very
more than
good.
happy to answer any questions.
Let's repeat those email addresses. One is Connie Mack Families, all one word, at live.com. That's what we're seeing on the screen, but there's another Gmail address.
Yes, just the general email address, and it goes to our administration. It's Connie Mack World Series at gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Instagram, on Facebook, and I answer those messages directly. So we're pretty prompt about getting back to you, and we'd love to have you be a part of this tournament. I would like to mention, Scott, something I forgot to mention. Tickets for
Sure.
the newly renovated seats, you can go by the Farmington Recreation Center and put your name in for the drawing that will take place in early July. We're going to be
good
giving
point.
out some season tickets, give you the rights to those tickets. And also, if you are a foster family, we've set aside a certain number of tickets where we will have a special foster family drawing. So it will dramatically boost your odds if you do host kids to get tickets for this year and years to come.
That host family drawing. That'll be great.
Yes, that's correct.
Got you. Okay, good to know. And that's important because I know tickets to the World Series are a hot commodity.
They
many
are.
years,
They-
and you've always had room at general admission, I think, right? But these are different seats.
Yes, so these seats will be reserved seats, and you will have the rights to them. So they are essentially season ticket seats that you'll have access to. In the new box seat sections as well, the foster families will have access to those for the tournament, so they
Right.
can watch their players for that week play, and they'll have the best seats in the house.
Very good. And for those host families, again, obviously their hosting commitment is just kind of dependent on the schedule. If their team does well, they may be having the kids there for the whole week. If they go home early, they may go home early.
That is correct. So you just kind of have to see what happens. Sometimes they're there for 4 5 days. Sometimes they're there for the duration of the tournament. So it just depends on how the pieces fall. But it's a great experience, and I've seen a lot of people come into this experience and a little hesitant, maybe a little shy. By the end of the year, they said, we cannot wait to have players back next year, and that's certainly been the case in my own home, so I've seen it firsthand.
Wonderful. Well, it always seems to be a win-win, and I
Yes.
think it is every year after year. So, and as we mentioned, a lot of great relationships have been forged through the
Yes.
host family program.
That's
so
correct.
That's great to hear. The other thing I want to ask you about is media. I know you've worked with a television station to have some television coverage of the World Series this year. Is that something we can talk about?
We have. There's a couple of new changes as far as broadcasting and streaming the event. So AABC, the national organization, is working with a company right now. We will put this information, the link, all of the details, as soon as they're ironed out on our website, on our social media accounts, and we will have a better presence and more of a presence, just camera-wise, field-wise, for folks that want to stream it at home, or parents that have kids here that they can't come and watch them in person. And so that's very exciting. We will also be partnering with KSJE,
right?
Scott,
how about
San
that?
Juan College, and a lot of the folks that formerly did the broadcasting with KNMI,
right?
Who sold recently. That went public, so we're very excited to partner with the existing team.
Right, we are very excited
San Juan College
to be able to keep that existing broadcast team. So folks are listening to us this morning going, "Oh, I'm going to miss those guys from KNMI who were great by play-by-play." No, they're going to be the same guys,
yes,
just over here on KSJE, and so this will be streaming on our stream, KSJE.com. Every game, every live, free. Listener supported, community supported, so we're thrilled. Again, we're thrilled with the businesses who will be stepping up to sponsor those broadcasts to be able to make this as a free live event. So that's great to be able to partner with you. We're thrilled,
yes,
believe me, and excited to be able to do that. So everyone, kind of just set your radio buttons, if you will, if you haven't already, but we want to be the radio home, and we are, for Connie Mack World Series 2021.
That's right. We are looking forward to that partnership, and we really appreciate everything that KNMI did and the high standard that they set
very
as
much.
we cruise into 2021, but we are very excited for the new partnerships, both broadcasting and streaming, as well as being able to visually stream it and
right,
see it from wherever you live.
Because as many seats as you put into Ricketts Park, you're always going to need more, I think,
That's
for the
correct.
demand for Connie Mack.
That's
so
correct.
you need to have these broadcast partners to be able to get the games out to,
That's right.
And to folks who can't physically be here. You mentioned, again, we've got kids from all over the country coming, young adults, high school students.
I know. I have to watch myself.
Right. But they're coming here to play ball in the World Series, and if Aunt Agnes can't be here in person, she'll want to listen to it on the radio or watch them on a video stream or something, and this is a way to do that.
Yes.
So
we'll have great options for those folks.
Very much so. Very exciting. Well, here we are in the early June, and so we're at the end of July. I'll be here before we know it. I know you're a busy guy.
Goodness, yes. It's coming fast.
Right?
Yes.
Tick-tock. But so what's next? Watching all the tournaments around the country to see what team will be the one to come here?
Yeah, that's exciting. So
city tournament?
Seeing the teams, there will be a city tournament here to see who the host team is. We also will be inducting one member into the Hall of Fame, Michael Dunn, who went to school at Piedra Vista and really had a fantastic 10-year MLB career. He's coming back. He'll be the parade marshal. We'll be inducting him into the Hall of Fame, so he will be the most recent local inductee, former MLB player. Probably not the last, but certainly the local one. So we're grateful to have him. If you are a season ticket holder, your emails will arrive in your inbox on June 21st. So you'll have an entire month to purchase your tickets. And from here on out, it's just we're just grinding it out. We're in the ninth inning of the preparation stages, and that's coming together nicely.
Right. Very good. And of course, I know you're keeping an eye on all the COVID safe practices and all the other things that the state has, but we're hoping by July 21st, turquoise will be a fond memory, and,
yes,
and hopefully the state will be reopened because we'll have the majority of our population fully vaccinated, and events like this that are outdoors, that are safer anyway than an indoor event, can go on as we're used to.
That's right. We've been following the mandates and obviously the CDC policies and state regulations since this started.
Sure.
We have a team of folks that have really done nothing but that, and we've been partnering with the city, Shauna Reeves and her team, as far as collaborating, is how we can have this tournament and make it as safe as possible. I think you've seen recently, thank goodness, we have a high vaccination rate in this state and in this county. The mask mandate for outside events like at New Mexico United and the Isotopes in Albuquerque has been lifted, and we are prepared for 100%, and we are also prepared if we have to scale it back to 75%.
Wonderful.
So we have plans in place, Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, to make sure this happens.
Very good. That's how we've been living the last 13 months. So
That's right.
Just
have a backup.
Keep going. There you go. Perfect. Well, Tyson, it's a thrill to know that Connie Mack is back this summer. We're thrilled. I'm thrilled. Personally thrilled. The station is thrilled to be able to work with you and the committee, and we're so looking forward to it. It just is one more sign that things are getting back to what we would consider normal. So thank you for all the work you and your committee and the army of folks that are making this happen are doing to make sure it happens.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much. Look forward to working with you and your team and seeing everybody, at Ricketts Park come July.
It'll be a great summer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Tyson Snyder, he is the General Campaign Chairman for the Connie Mack World Series in Farmington, coming back this summer in July. I'm Scott Michlin, and this is KSJE.